p.m. Monday, November 17th, 2025. I'd like to call the village board meeting to order. And we will begin with roll call. Trustee Booker.
Here.
Trustee Woods.
Here.
Trustee Owens.
Here.
Trustee Thompson. Here. Trustee Greaves.
Present.
Trustee Johnson.
Here.
President Montgomery here. We'd like to invite the audience to join us with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And we will follow our agenda as printed out. If any of our guests feel free to take a copy of the agenda, which is that you pay for. They're on the ledge. Karen, do we have any person presenting to be heard?
We do not, President.
Okay, thank you. The next item on our agenda is our elected official and staff reports, and those are in our packets. I don't know if there's any questions or comments relative to what you received. If not, we will move on to the next item on our agenda, which is the consent agenda. And on our consent agenda tonight, we have the minutes of our November 3rd, 2025 meeting, the vouchers from October 2025, accept the 2025 third quarter financials, consider approval of closing village facilities on December 17th, from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. for holiday banquet, consider approval of permanent conditional use permit with Urban Beats at 5091 West Brownfield Road, consider approval of permanent conditional use permit with Kathy Corazon at 4102 West Bradley Road. Consider approval of a request for benefits exception for limited term employees, lead service line replacement community outreach project. And consider approval of Kelman restoration quote for the pond restoration project. A number of these items in our packet have been approved at committee level, but are there any questions or comments relative to any other items in the consent agenda? Trustee Owens.
Yeah, I had two, President. On item E, which is the consider approval of permanent conditional use permit with Urban Beats.
Yes.
I was looking at the documents that were sent, and I was just wondering, is there because like page 6 and page 7, they were blank in there. So page 6, exhibit A was the legal description, and page 7, exhibit B was the site plan. And in my document, they were both blank, so I was just.
If I can, Trustee Owens, those documents are typically inserted at the end of the approval process when we go to record them. They were reviewed during the original approval of the conditional use permit as secondary pieces to the packet, but it's something that we would insert once we were going to recording.
Okay, all right, thank you.
And your next.
The next one was letter G, which was the request for benefits exception, limited term employee lead service line replacement community outreach project. Can you just explain what that is?
Yeah, so the health department got a grant through the DNR for $300,000. It's gonna help pay for the lead lateral transition for the communities of Shorewood and Whitefish Bay. And Brown Deer lead laterals is a non-issue, but for some of those communities that were built out, especially during the 30s and 40s, lead laterals were used quite often. So they're going to do a lot of outreach and door-to-door communication, and it's paid all through that grant.
All right, thank you.
Other questions? If not, can we, entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I move that we approve the consent agenda.
Is there? It's been moved by trustee Thompson and seconded by trustee Woods to approve the consent agenda. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. Thank you. Next on our agenda, under item 6, is new business. And the first item is consider approval of engineering consulting professional services RFP for the design of the North 47th Street box culvert and roadway over South Branch Creek project. Is that you, Matthew?
Yes.
And by the way, I'll let the record reflect that Nate Pierkowski is on Zoom and not in person.
So this is just an update. I don't think there's any action that has to be taken on this RFP, but we are going to release this tomorrow. So this is our North 47th Street project, and this provides me an opportunity to give an update on what's going on out there. So as we recall, the August 9th, 10th flooding washed away North 47th Street. There is an existing 72-inch corrugated metal pipe that is conveying South Branch Creek underneath North 47th Street. And again, this is between Willow and Churchill. We since approved, this board approved a plan with Vinton to provide a temporary solution. So we put the embankment, if you can think of this almost like a dam. So, right, the roadway is kind of holding water back. It fills up that Churchill Basin where all those homes were raised in the late 90s, early 2000s. So that's a basin that fills up, stores water, and then slowly goes out through the culvert pipe. During this flooding event, that roadway embankment gave away, so all the water rushed downstream. So we put that embankment back together temporarily, filled it with riprap. We had DNR approval. We had Vinton, our contractor that's been working in the village, complete that work. That was done at the end of October. The roadway remains closed. We have Jersey barriers up and traffic control. But now we have to look ahead to the permanent solution on how we're going to put 47th Street back together and properly repair that culvert pipe that remained in place during the temporary, but it's still severely damaged, and we have to replace this. So we're going to be proposing a precast concrete box culvert. It's a 6x8 box culvert. And then there is some things that will entertain with the roadway portion of it, whether we put the roadway fully back together, connecting it as a through street, or there has been some requests from residents, and I think this is a viable option of entertaining eliminating North 47th Street as a through street. So we would do a dead end on the south side, South Branch, and then also on the north side with some possible pedestrian passage over the top of the culvert pipe. That's all stuff we flush out during the design phase. So with all that said, where we're at is temporary work has been completed, and we need to move forward with the permanent. And how do we get there? Well, we have to put together an engineering plan and hire a firm to do this work. And so we're going to reach out to, and I've already kind of done this preliminarily with several firms that I feel are interested, but we'll put this RFP out on the street. This will be due December 5th. Staff will meet and we will recommend one of the firms. This will go back to Public Works Committee, back to this board for approval of that engineering contract. And then once we approve that, we will rapidly sprint forward with design work so that we can get this out to bid during the month of April, preferably even March if we can get there. The DNR, I've been in contact with them as of Friday, to kind of talk through our plan and, so that they're kind of in the loop on what's happening. So that's where we're at right now. We'd also hold like a public information meeting on how we put 47th Street back together. I'm proposing that to happen in January. We need the engineering firm though on board first before we can, present plans to the public.
When we think about the people that are directly affected, we know how many residents.
On 47th Street with this through street impact, I would guess that there's about 12 to 15 of them that are on the stretch. It's not a lot because if you kind of think about it, there's that cross street of Goodrich and then, so there's corner houses there. So it really breaks up that block pretty good. But I know there's a resident to the south that is pretty vocal and kind of rallying some neighbors about keeping it open. No, closed. Keeping it closed. Yes.
Without, do they know about the option of a cul-de-sac?
Yeah, they want to do the dead end or the cul-de-sac option. That's his big push. This is a really good test period to see like how this is gonna impact anything because it's been closed since August 10th, right? Yeah. I haven't heard a peep from
And
it.
the church hasn't had any.
No. I did talk, so the resident his name is Mike Wist. I mean, that's fine to say. He used to serve on Public Works Committee as well. I think trustee Owens, you recall Mike very well. I just talked to him again maybe a few weeks ago and he's, pretty excited by the idea because again, it's been closed for so long right now. And he says a lot of his neighbors are enjoying,
Not having traffic.
traffic that's coming.
Oh, yeah.
So I get it, yep. But it's something that we're just hearing from that one individual, right, or those residents. It's something we have to open up to like the neighborhood and cast a pretty wide net. Because it's not just impacting the people that live there. All of us are, driving vehicles through, it's Brown Deer Road network that would change. So, I think it's a good thing. What's that?
You said it's around there what?
Well, I mean, it's Brown Deer's Road network, like our whole villages,
It would be a-
all users.
I know I got it, like, when I tried to drive through it and realized, oh, that's the street.
And you gotta turn around. See, exactly. So if we do this public, or not, when we do this meeting, we're gonna have to cast a very broad net, like President Montgomery, your whole neighborhood to the south there, all have to get invited because they're using that as this north.
Yeah, Dean.
Yep, and then Dean all the way up in there. So it'll be a big mailing that will go out and hopefully we can get a lot of feedback. And I think that feedback's important because ultimately we will bring, after that meeting, bring a recommendation to this board for, approval of one of those two options. So that way we can direct the engineering firm on which way to go to finalize all the plans.
Questions?
I had one.
Trustee Graves.
So will this new solution be resistant to that type of flooding?
Yeah. No, absolutely. Yeah. We don't want to put anything back worse, right? Or have this happen again, right? So no, the existing thing here is that CMP, a very old CMP culvert, and that's the stuff that failed all around it. So putting back a precast box culvert is the proven solution. We have those elsewhere in the village as well. Like North 51st Street right here, that's up for replacement next summer. That's a dual sub box culvert. It's actually not a bridge. Yep.
Other questions? If not, we do need a motion.
Yeah, Tyler, do we need a motion on this or is it?
Yeah.
I mean, usually this is a consent agenda item with
Oh,
the issuance of the RFP, but we want as new business, so Matthew could give you that more detailed. So I would recommend a motion and approval for it.
So I move to approve the
Trustee Engineering Consulting Professional Services RFP for the design of the North 47th Street box culvert and roadway over the South Branch Creek project.
It's been moved by trustee Greaves and seconded by trustee Owens to approve engineering consulting professional services RFP for the design of the North 47th Street box culvert and roadway for the South Branch Creek project. All those in favor? Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries unanimously. Thank you. The next item on our agenda is to consider approval of an ordinance 25-07, an ordinance allowing the police department to impound vehicles used in the commission of reckless driving. Chief?
Thank you. The memo kind of lays out the law that was passed by the Wisconsin legislature. And it allows for a municipality to create an ordinance to impound vehicles for reckless driving. Reckless driving is in the statute defined as a person that endangers the safety of another person or property by the negligent operation of the vehicle. And then negligence is defined as conduct that the actor should realize creates a substantial and unreasonable risk of death or great bodily harm to another. So reckless driving is a pretty high standard as far as conduct. And so when a operator vehicle would be deemed to be driving recklessly, it would allow the officer or our department to impound that vehicle. And then that person would have to satisfy the citation and pay for the impound fee to get their vehicle back.
So if we had to impound, where would we put these vehicles?
Currently, right now, we use Leader Towing for our tow service, and they would keep the vehicle until which time it was retrieved.
Questions?
Yes.
I remember watching this on the news, on the news when this was passed in the city of Milwaukee. Is there a caveat if the person driving the car, if they're not the owner of the vehicle, and the vehicle is owned by someone else? There's something.
If it's stolen,
No,
yeah.
if it's stolen. If it's determined that the vehicle is stolen, then we cannot impose any fee or impound fee, which we have to release the vehicle back to the owner.
If it's your son or daughter,
Yeah, they
it's
could.
impounded.
Yeah, they could. Yeah.
Correct.
Or
Be
your
careful.
husband or wife.
Careful who you lend the keys to.
Other questions?
So when you impound these vehicles, where are they gonna be towed to?
Leader Towing, which is on Tetonia, just south of our border on Tetonia.
Sure.
Excuse me.
South of the Hope, I think it is.
It is south of Bradley, just north of Goodell. Excuse me, south of Goodell, you're correct. Yeah.
Trustee Greaves.
What are the, so I think we have impound vehicles for other offenses right now.
Correct.
And what are those, like?
So they're very limited to some extent. So for instance, if we had a person who's arrested for operating while intoxicated and the vehicle was left illegally parked, we would then tow that vehicle. If it was legally parked and we secure the keys and we arrest the person, we wouldn't tow it. There are times where if the person's operating after revocation or after suspension, there are times where we would tow that car as well.
Does the village get any funds for this?
No.
Well, it's just done in a normal operation of your work. So the towing company would get
Would be
paid,
for towing, correct?
right, and they would get paid by whoever owns the vehicle.
Right, and I guess the reimbursement piece would be the citation would be paid.
To the village.
To the village.
Right, okay,
I have one more.
yes.
So this would just be, so is it at the discretion of the officer, or how do you determine that it's reckless driving when you would impound?
Both good questions. We're gonna have some internal, discussions and procedures on that. And the driving is gonna have to be, deemed reckless. And then supervisor approval to make sure that that is in fact reckless driving and then to actually impound you.
And I know this just got, what, not even a month.
Yeah, it's,
About 2 weeks.
yeah,
Have we heard any stories?
I have not.
And just for some background, there was a previous law that was passed, but it required a prior reckless driving conviction.
Before you get involved?
Correct. And MPD was, in the city of Milwaukee, was just discussing that they were very limited. They maybe only had 6 or 7 occurrences in the year. And that's why they went back to the legislature and said, hey, we're still having this issue, but we're not seeing that prior conviction. And so they weren't able to impound people.
Now, is this just in Milwaukee County?
Statewide,
It's statewide?
if the municipality passes.
Approved it. Okay. All right, and I know this came up at the ICC last week, and other municipalities are looking into doing the same thing.
Correct.
So, please warn your family and friends and your neighbors. And your enemies.
Maybe not though.
But we do need a motion to approve this ordinance.
I'll make the motion. I move to approve ordinance number 25-07, allowing the police department to impound vehicles used in the commission of reckless driving.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and second. I believe we need a roll call vote. It's been moved by trustee, Thompson and seconded by trustee Booker. Roll call vote, trustee Booker.
Aye.
Trustee Woods.
Aye.
Trustee Owens.
Aye.
Trustee Johnson.
Aye.
Trustee Greaves.
Aye.
Trustee Thompson.
Aye.
President Montgomery, aye. And, unanimously, ordinance 2504 has been adopted. All right, moving on to item number C. Consider approval of ordinance number 25-08, an ordinance marking the making the parking of semi-trucks illegal from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. on North Park Plaza Court and eliminating parking restrictions at the former library. Okay, please.
Okay. The memo explains a little bit of why we want to do this. In the past year or so, we've had an increase of semi-parking on both North Park Plaza Court as well as the shopping center parking lot that is only occupied by the laundromat. And so what we found is discussing and actually talking to some of the semi-truck drivers that were actually there or trying to park there, is that there's an app, I guess, for semi-truck drivers. And somehow, some way we became a parking spot for semi-trucks, both in the lot and on Park Plaza. So we saw a influx of those trucks being parked there. Now, we were able to address the night parking because we have the current night parking between 2 a.m. and 6 a.m. But that was not solving the issue because we were getting repeat people that did not know that we had an ordinance. And so we were having both issues with the parking lot as well as Park Plaza. And so we're proposing this ordinance. It would be signed so that truck drivers that would want to park there would see the sign, no parking 10 p.m. to 6 a.m., which would be first to be a deterrent and notification to anybody that wanted to park there, because right now there's no real indication of the night parking other than in the entranceways of the village, which if you're not paying attention, you're not going to see. So this will hopefully reduce and minimize this issue, and also get us off this app. So, that is the proposal for the ordinance. It's about $2,500 or so for the signage that we would incur, but between our officer time and just the nuisance to the people that live there, I think this would be a small price to pay to kind of rectify that situation. And also, we went as far as we contacted the owner of the strip mall there, and they have given us permission to site at any time of the day because they don't want the parking there. There is signage in the parking lot, but again, if you're not looking for it, you don't see it. So that's the proposal for that piece of this. And then there's a second part, which is, as we were going through this, we also noticed that there was a parking restriction on the center drive of the library. And we talked with the pastor there, and he would want it removed so that they can park there. So that's why it's more of a cleanup there for the second part of the eliminating former library restriction.
Okay. Questions?
I just had a question. And when you say semi trucks, are you including the tractor and the trailer? Or say if someone just has a tractor that they can't park that in either?
Correct.
Okay.
Well, the tractor and the trailer.
Okay.
Has there been any consideration to that also happening over at 47 West Branch?
47 in Bradley? Not as of right now.
Because I see trucks over there all the time.
Parking?
And I called about it before. That's before the new person owned it now.
They come with the garage.
No,
No?
the strip, 47 next to the bowling alley.
Okay. In the parking lot.
And I know a lot of times the officers are across the street, but it may not be at the time.
Correct. We can talk.
Just as a,
Yep.
yeah,
Put it on our radar for sure.
trustee Reeves.
Yeah, so is the ordinance specific to semi-trailers or is it any automobile?
Well, right now it's strictly just semi trucks. We wanted to allow for someone that had a vehicle that maybe was visiting Park Plaza, they could still get overnight parking permission because we still do allow that 5 times a month. So a motor vehicle, if they were visiting there, could still get that parking permission. This would not negate that opportunity.
Other questions?
Yeah, I have a question. So the individuals that are using this area to park the semis, are they residents of either, they just?
They don't have.
Okay, so my second part of my question is.
Yeah, so they'll sometimes be sleeping in there.
Yeah.
And then, we did have one resident from Milwaukee who found through the app to park there. But typically I was happened to be over there and I stopped a guy that was about to park in the parking lot. And that's where he started to talk about the app. And he knew where the other spot was, which is off of Holy Hill Road, is the truck stop there. And Walmart actually does not allow for deliveries because of our conditional use permit, and they send their trucks there too. So even Walmart doesn't park in trucks in their Walmart lot, and they don't certainly allow them to go next door. But it was just becoming a overnight parking, because a lot of what happens is they get to restrictions that they can't drive anymore. But they're planning this, and that's usually apt to plan it, so then they'll give us the heartache, well, past my time. So then we're dealing with that issue as well.
So is anybody monitoring the app to see if any new parking spots pop up?
I think you have, we didn't download the app.
I was just wondering, I can get it right.
Yeah, no, that's a good thing to be proud of.
Other questions? If not, we need an ordinance, a motion to approve.
I'll make the motion. I move we approve ordinance number 25-08, making the parking of semi trucks illegal from 10 PM to 6 AM North Park Plaza Court and eliminating the restrictions of the former library.
It's been moved by trustee Woods and seconded by trustee Thompson to approve ordinance number 2508. An ordinance making the parking of semi trucks illegal from 10 PM to 6 AM on North Park Plaza Court and eliminating parking restrictions at the former library. We will do a roll call vote. And we will start with trustee Johnson. Trustee Greaves. Trustee Thompson. Trustee Owens. Trustee Woods.
Aye.
Trustee Booker.
Aye.
President Montgomery, aye. The ordinance has been adopted. Thank you. Next item, D, consider approval of certified map for Milwaukee County right of way, the 8100 block of North Tactonia Avenue. Is Nate gonna,
Nate's gonna take it.
Nate?
Sure. So this certified survey map that you have before you went to the Plan Commission last week, where it was unanimously recommended for approval. What is going on is related to the change that Sherman Boulevard is now going to be under construction in 2026. And as a part of that project, Teutonia Avenue between Sherman and Bradley, the angled portion that runs along and adjacent to Cafe Corazon and Hanson Storage will be eliminated. And all traffic will need to flow north-south via Sherman Boulevard. And then if they wanted to get back onto Teutonia, would need to use Bradley Road and go through the roundabout. This certified survey map takes all of the remnant land that allows for Teutonia to be where it's at, including a couple of parcels, and combines them into one lot that you see on the certified survey map in your packet. We've reviewed the dimensions and designs for this. We think it is correct and appropriate. And the intent would be to approve this certified survey map and then have it ready for when the project is nearing completion, where the county is intending to transfer over this lot to the village for redevelopment purposes at no cost. So we think it's a definite positive benefit for redevelopment in Brown Deer. It becomes our third largest developable piece of land overnight. And this certified survey map is the method by which we could then transfer the property via quitclaim with the county. So with that, I could answer any questions.
Any questions? And as Nate said, this did come before the Plan Commission last week. And you're getting free land at the end of it. If there are no questions, can we entertain a motion?
Yeah. I move to approve the certified survey map for Milwaukee County right of way on the 8100 block of North Teutonia Avenue.
Is there a second? It's been moved by trustee Greaves and second by trustee Owens to approve the certified survey map for Milwaukee County right of way in the 8100 block of North Tactonia Avenue. All those in favor? Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries unanimously. Thank you. The next item on our agenda is to consider approval of offer to purchase for 8725 North Deerwood Drive, and that is the Brown Deer Deer Garden. Tyler?
Thanks, President Montgomery. So as you know, we've discussed with the news of ABC Estabrook leaving as the beer vendor, what to do with this property, and with discussions with the board. The board entertained and gave the direction for staff to put this out on the market to see what kind of offers that we could receive. We had multiple inquiries on the property, but one offer came in from Hackbarth Commercial LLC in the amount of $500,000. Paul, the owner of the LLC, had a trip planned that he had probably over a year in the works, so he was not able to attend. But he wanted to let you know his thoughts, so we had sent an email to all of you, and if you need any hard copies, I know John has some hard copies of the letter explaining his commitment. I'll probably in a second turn over to John, and John, if you want to talk a little bit about Camp Bar and his other establishments, feel free. But from a staff perspective, the use meets a lot of the things that we're looking for, and feel would be a complement with what were the other businesses in the original village. It gives us the capital that we need for the investment in the park space. And Camp Bar has a history in a lot of their other sites for doing public events, which is really what we want to see in that community square space. So I think it checks a lot of our boxes. If approved, we would be able to start working with a consultant on some of the design and engineering of community square pretty quickly here. So I'll have John introduce himself and talk a little bit about the LLC, and feel free to answer any or ask him any questions. And after that, it'll be up to you. If you want to deliberate in closed session, you can. That's only if there's anything with the offer that you wanted to consider something else or something you could. Otherwise, if none of you did, we could not go to closed session and take a motion, but that would be up to you as a board. Okay, John?
Hi, my name is John Kuhn. I'm with Cushman & Wakefield Berkey. I've been working with Paul for about 12 years.
Can you come to the microphone? And check and make sure it's on, so that it's recorded.
Okay. Can you hear me all right? Yeah, I've worked with Paul for 12 years, helping him find locations. He's in Shorewood on Oakland Avenue, also in the 3rd Ward, and Wauwatosa, with the Camp Bar brand. There's only one owner. Paul is the owner. He's built the business all by himself with great staff, of course. And very committed, as Tyler mentioned, to different various public functions that coordinate with Camp Bar. For instance, in Shorewood, there's the outdoor tackle game in Oakland Avenue. Close off the street, people bring their fold-up chairs, this activities. It's just very fun. But really here to answer any questions that you may have.
Any questions? Trustee Johnson?
Yeah, I think maybe the question I have, but maybe better in closed session.
Okay. Anyone else? Any questions or comments relative to what we have here? The offer purchase. So if there is further discussion, do we need to approve this now, or can we do it after the close?
Yeah, you can do it after the closed session.
Okay.
So we would go in closed session, so you could deliberate in that, and then we could go back and open the session and have further discussion.
No questions right now. All right, so if there's no questions, you do need a motion to recess in the closed session for the following reasons. For the purpose of deliberating or negotiating the purchasing of public properties, the investing of public funds, or conducting other specified public business whenever competitive or bargaining reasons require a closed session. Offer to purchase for 8725 North Deerwood Drive, around here, beer garden. Is there a motion?
I know that we're going to close session.
Is there a second? The move by trustee Thompson, second by trustee Booker to go into closed session. All those in favor? Any opposed? Ayes have it, so we will go into closed session. Sorry to our guests.